this state, 10 homes, 20 homes, and the chances of them spending one day in jail is not very good under these sentencing guidelines. Not one day, especially if you're a juvenile. If I'm governor of this state, we're going to change that. And I have proposed a 20-point crime plan that the Fraternal Order of Police looked at and have said this is real, this is achievable, this is something we can do to make our streets safer. And they did something that they have never done before in the history of their organization. They endorsed Jim Slattery for governor. Now that plan focuses on some basic principles. One, if you're dangerous, you're leaving the community, you're staying away from the community until you're prepared to come back and be peaceful. If you're not orange jump, mine, Senator Kassebaum and I had the same position on this. Now, with regard to, do I still have about 20 seconds?
Maybe.
I do believe that we need to change the sentencing guidelines. We do need a youth authority in this state so that we can deal with these dangerous juveniles that are now being held under the custody of SRS. We need a youth authority to deal with them,
all right.
And that's something I'm committed to.
All right, we'll need to cut it off there. I want to.
I think in terms of funding, the best thing we can do as a state is make sure we provide a tax climate, an economic climate, so those parents can have jobs and earn salaries and not give away all their income to state government or the federal government and have the money available to make wise educational opportunities.
Now to Jim Slattery.
Marker. And it pays to attend Kansas universities.
Our next question is another one from the public. This is from Medicine Law.
127 years, and my great expectation, my great hope would be that the courts reverse the lower court decision and allow us to continue operating in the manner that we have. This may be one of those points where there's some agreement today, Jim. I too believe a reconstituted State Board of Ag, if that's what is necessary to meet a court test, makes most sense for this state. We should move as little as possible, try to allow a reconstituted board to come up with a method that meets the constitutional challenge, and as a last resort, they should be allowed to submit names to the governor so that the governor selects from names submitted by the State Board of Agriculture. The State Board has done an outstanding job over the years in selecting excellent people to serve as secretary, and I see no reason to change the process that has served us so well. Be careful that we don't presuppose what our options are going to be until the court rules on the settlement on that case. I firmly believe that we must be sure to reinvest any dollars that flow to the state of Kansas back to that area of the state that has been so hard hit economically over the loss of water over all those very many years. So clearly, Ray, I am speaking of the southwest corner of the state who has taken the brunt of the economic impact from the state water plan. I think it's clear that we've got to get the Department of Agriculture, Health and Environment working together to formulate common sense approaches to water regulatory management so that we don't impact our farmers in a punitive manner so that they cannot earn a living, but at the same time we do have to be proper stewards of the very precious natural resource that serves us all so well throughout this state. It is one of the most expensive components of our disposable income, and clearly the state needs to take the lead, as the state of Kansas has been doing in recent years. We have made changes in our insurance laws on portability and on pre-existing conditions. We have been leading the way, and by some estimates, as many as 90% of our Kansans are covered, but we have to be committed to how do we find coverage for the remainder of those the 10% not covered must be covered and must have access to health care. As governor, I'm willing to revisit the debate over collateral source rule, which was a potential opportunity to reduce medical malpractice premiums, vetoed by the previous governor. I think we have to look at medical savings accounts for Kansans to give them an opportunity to put away dollars that can be used at their discretion for health care services. I certainly believe the state has to continue to encourage the development of primary care physicians, and in those medically underserved areas where they may not be inclined to want to go, the state needs to be able to develop a program of state grants to offer incentives so they will go and provide health care services in those underserved areas.
Jim Slattery, you have 30 seconds.